What's going on, YouTube modeling community? Pappy here at West Georgia Rods and Customs. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of 10 Questions with a Modeler. Today, I don't have just a modeler. I have 5, including myself. You know, I can count to 5. But I got four of my good friends right here from the Scale Model Car Podcast. Starting with the gentleman that's down below me. Who we got here?
This is me, Lucas C. from the Lucas C channel, but you know everybody calls me Matt.
Mr. Humble.
Yeah.
Who we got down there in the bottom right-hand corner?
This is Chuck with Chuck's Hobby Spot.
Who we got up there in that top right-hand slot?
This is Jason with the Blue Ox Model Shop.
Who's my little buddy over here right beside me?
Well, this is BG from BG's Model Workshop from Western Arizona.
Ooh, warm Arizona
Western
too,
Arizona.
Hey, Brian, see if you can send some, am I pointing the right direction? Yeah. See if you can send some warm stuff over there to that fella over in the top right corner, because I know he needs it.
You want some sun?
It's gonna snow higher than a giraffe's nose next
I'm
this
gonna need.
weekend.
I mean, I realize I'm a short guy, but I'm gonna need stilts to see where I'm going after Sunday.
Me and Bri will be up there. We'll come help you, but it's gonna cost you. And this is Pappy from West Georgia Rods and Customs. Guys, appreciate y'all jumping in tonight and doing this. We're gonna make this as short and sweet as we can. You know, I can't count to 10 as it is.
Oh, thank goodness.
I have to take a couple of things off to count to 10. So enough about that. Anywho, all right, y'all know how this works. Matthew, Mr. Matt, sir, the man, the myth, the legend, better known as Lucas E. You get the first one. All right, here we go. How much research goes into your build prior to a start?
See, that's one of the things that's like one of my favorite parts. It's almost like a part of the whole building process. I can spend a lot of time researching whatever it might be, anywhere from a particular race car, if I'm doing a real race car, trying to replicate the actual car. I get really, sometimes I do too much and it lags sometimes you just got to kind of like it. Don't go that far with it, and, or like when I was building my Porsche, I said Porsche, Chuck, sorry. And I was doing my porch. It was a 73, and I looked at all kinds of information on 73 Porsches and how they were built and all this stuff and what they had on them. And, I just like to get as accurate as possible. So I can put a lot of time into my research, and it's fun for me. That's why I have, and when, since the computers came out, I have been stockpiling photographs of just about every type of automotive whatever, and all in filed like this, drag cars, and then there's certain drag cars or whatever it might be. My computers or memory's always blown out because I just have so much information to do research. It's half the building for me.
That is true, and it's that can, you go down a rabbit hole like that. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but if you're trying to, make it as accurate as possible, that's always great.
Yeah,
how about you, Chuck?
For me, a lot. I mean, I'll be building the previous build, or the build that I'm building now. I'm researching my next build right now. So as I'm building this, sometimes when I lay in bed at night, I'll Google things. Like I'll do a lot of research, like way ahead of time. I'll research builds of like other people's builds. I'll research the real cars. I've got a lot of screenshots saved up of future builds that I want to do. I mean, thousands of screenshots probably. A lot. A lot of research goes on for me. I mean, it's part of the fun, I think. And you learn a lot you learn a lot when you're researching about the car. Sometimes it's stuff you don't even know. Mm-hmm. And even though I'm doing the research, the car takes on a life of its own as I'm building it. So I might not always follow the research I've done. I might go a different direction, but the car kind of takes on its own little twist as I'm
Yeah.
building it. But yeah, I
Always
do a lot of
using,
research.
yeah, always using, your creative liberties. I don't know where I learned that word, but, taking your own creative liberties of what you see and what you're applying it to, it's that's always enjoyable, for a lot of us. How about you, Mr. Blue Ox up there with the big Jeep?
Not quite as much as Matt and Chuck, but I do some research. Mostly I'm mostly looking at engine bays and interiors to see how that stuff is laid out. A lot of what I build, I'm kind of winging it with colors. I have an idea in my head before I start the build, so that's usually what I go off of. So I'd say maybe medium.
A day or two, a month or
A day or two, yeah, maybe a week, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have files. I don't have thousands of screenshots. I don't have my computer isn't bloated with files for pictures and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
I do a bit of research. How's that?
bit of research. How about you, bruh?
Well, I if I'm doing a car, because I don't just do autos, but if I'm doing a car, I'll search and search and search through Google Images to find what I call my inspiration vehicle. That kicks off the build for me, so I can kind of go in a direction. To comment on what Chuck was saying, I stopped Googling stuff while I'm getting ready to lay down because I will get excited about something, and then sleep does not happen now because it's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm like, let's go.
I thought I was the only one that did that.
But
I can relate with what he's saying.
yeah,
what
so
he's
it's like,
saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in the hobby room and get to work. So,
Yeah.
but if I'm doing like a military vehicle or aircraft, I like doing the research so I can find out exactly what I'm working on, and then the history of that particular item becomes fascinating. Like I did a video a while back ago about the MPC Californian kit.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to see if that was an existing show rod or something like that, get some ideas on how that's supposed to be built. And then I found out about the guy who designed that, and that he used to design for Hot Wheels, and it was a whole thing. It was a whole rabbit hole. And so now when I do research on a kit, I want to find something that's going to be inspiration for me, and then something that's going to give me color ideas. And like Jason said, to lay out the engine bay or something like that. But now I'm also heading into the history of the kit itself, because that's fascinating too.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
wow.
That
It's
opens up
fair
a whole
bit.
new. That opens up a whole new can of worms right there. Especially, I
And
mean,
there's-
you're looking at 1-to-1, but then you're looking back at the history of all these kits, each one of them. And I guess I'll close this out on this one. Is we us as modelers, I mean, I do go to check out the 1-to-1 car for whatever I'm building, and do a lot of research. As far as colors, I usually have really depends on what I'm painting, car wise, but I usually have a mental image in my head. Then I'll hit the Google search, and then I'll as Richard Rawlings over at Gas Monkey Garage, I always hit the old interweb and looking for inspiration. But I do go, and it's just like I was sharing with y'all a little bit ago. This weekend, going to going to the JacksCon show down in Jacksonville, I had a lot of inspiration down there just looking at that. At a lot of the other builds on the table, but I'll see that. But I'll piggyback on what Brian said. I will, once if I'm in there crashed, in the recliner with Vicky, while she's watching TV, I'll research something to death. And then when I go to bed, that's when my creative liberties start going, oh my God. And I will lay there awake for 2 or 3 hours going, I can't wait to get back in there on the bench to try this. So, but yeah, I know.
else?
I think we all suffer from that. So
Just a real quick add to that question you asked. Like now that I'm 3D printing, like say like I'm getting ready to build a 55 Chevy, I'll go to Colts 3D and I'll be Googling or I'll be searching stuff in the Colts for that build also. So now it's doubled. So
opens up a whole new another rabbit hole. Yeah.
I haven't got that kind of time, man.
Yeah, me either. That's why I quit. Honestly, Chuck, that's why I quit 3D printing. I mean, that was just it was taken away from my research time. but it was also taken away from my building time because that was, and I was just sitting there thinking, I thought, let's see, do I need a printer? Not no more. Do I need a curing station? Not no more now. So I know I got all these friends that, I've got Brian at Got Fuels that he does printing, Matthew at MCV, got Joel at Iceman. I got a plethora of people that can, that prints, and I'm just like, and that's when I call up Matthew at MCV. I said, "Hey man, you want to buy a printer?" He's like, "Sure." So that's how I unloaded my printer was to get to Matthew. All right, fellas. Number 2, what is your preference using either 3D printed parts or photo etch or both?
This is easy.
Matt?
Like using 3D. This is a kind of a weird one that's starting to happen because of some of the stuff I'm starting to see from the 3D printers.
That's available in photo etch.
Things that were really great to, that were photo etch that were really great to use, like buckles for racing harnesses, all kinds of stuff like that.
Yep.
And boy, there are some companies that are putting out really nice 3D printed stuff that it's kind of, I haven't messed with it yet, so I don't have an opinion, but it seems like it might be easier and look more realistic when you get done painting it and all that stuff. So, yeah, there's some items that I might start leaning more towards using if they're 3D printed over the photo etch. But I love photo etch too. There's just some cool stuff in photo etch that just is irreplaceable.
Yep. How about you, Chuckster?
This is a no-brainer. 3D prints all day long.
Yeah.
I like photo etch for like license plate covers and emblems, but that's about all I would use it for, probably.
Yeah. How about you, Mr. Blue Ox?
I gotta say 3D printed stuff. I'd much rather use that than photo etch.
How about you, Beej?
Well, I'm a little bit, I got a foot in both graves there. So, because I just started getting into photo etch a couple years ago and trying to get better at it. And I think with photo etch, you can get a certain type of dimensionality that the 3D printing is not going to give you. Like if you want to do bomber seats, those are thin, super thin. So if you do a 3D printed bomber seat, it's going to be a little bit thicker than it should be, just because of the nature of the printing. So I think there are pluses and minuses for both. And I'm like, if I'm going to do bomber seats, I'm going to do photo etch or like wire harnesses or looms, something like that. Yeah, I'm 50-50 on that whole thing because some of the 3D printing stuff is awesome. Like I got a set of window cranks from Joel, and you can get a photo etch set, but you got to stack those things to build up.
You got to stack the handles and
exactly.
Exactly.
So I mean, it's what do they say? Half a dozen of one and 6 of the other type of thing for me.
Yep, I agree.
So
I'm same way. I mean, I'm a photo etch hoarder myself. I mean, I got a whole wall right here full of photo etch.
Yeah.
But I've also I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 different stackables as far as little compartment trays with nothing but, I got 3D printed engines and wheels and stuff. But I just have, I've delved off into like what Brian was talking about as far as the the door handles, crank handles, things like that, that it brings that three dimension aspect of a door panel more to, looking more realistic than per se the photo etch. So I'm about like Brian. I'm 6.5 one dozen the other. So, but I'm leaning more toward the 3D printed stuff right now myself. So, all right, number 3. What is the cheapest kit price you remember from your youth? I pulled that one from Mr. LC's Facebook group a couple of days ago.
Yeah, that's been a discussion.
Yeah.
I didn't really build a lot as a kid, nor did I buy it myself. The few kits that I got, they were bought for me, so I don't remember prices like when I was a kid in the 70s. When I started buying kits, like around 1985 is when it kicked off for me paying for it. I remember an average, AMT Revell monogram were about $6. about 1985.
How about you, Chip?
I think around $3 because I was building when I was 6 or 7, and my dad used to give me a certain amount of money to go to Thrifties because my grandmother worked there, and I used to go buy a couple kits every time I visited her.
Thrifties. I remember
Yeah,
Thrifties.
I get an ice cream. I get an ice cream and 2 model kits.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Dang.
That's like $75 now.
You ain't kidding. Uh-huh.
It really is.
How many 67 Chevelles could I buy for that? No.
And you know that was like the first kit. You remember the flip nose Chevelle?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
that was one of the first kits I've ever.
No, I
bought
don't-
around there. And
don't remember
the
that one.
55 Chevy with the glass hood
Oh, the
skin,
old
the
The old
black.
bad news.
No, the black. It's the same one. The
Yeah.
black one.
Yeah. That
Those were like the first ones I was buying back in the day.
Yeah. Jason, how about you?
So I don't remember the exact kit, but for some reason, $5.99 is stuck in my
wow.
head.
Wow.
Ugh, yeah.
KB Toys, I can see the sticker. KB Toys,
KB stole.
$5.99.
Oh, my God. We just dated ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about you,
Oh,
Brian?
So the cheapest kit I remember from when I was a kid was a birthday present, so it was free. We had Long's Drugs in town, and I remember getting one for $8 there. And my dad was kind of complaining. He's like, "Why are you buying a model kit at Long's Drugs? Everything's so expensive here. You can go down the street to Toys R Us and get it for $5." I'm like, "Okay, let's go to Toys R Us." "I don't want to take you down there." "Okay, then I'm buying the model kit for $8, you know. So I was like,
Yeah.
that was in the 80s. But curiosities was getting the better of me the other day, so I looked up how much was $5 worth in the 1970s. It's worth $29 today.
Wow.
So I'm
Wow.
like, oh, have they actually?
Sounds
I don't want
right.
to open a can of worms or whatever, but I'm like saying,
I bring that up all the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So cost of living and all that jazz, but yeah, it's like $8 was I was shelling out as a kid for that for model kits.
I'll tell y'all, man, I'm really probably fixing to date myself. I don't know if I'm the only. I think I'm the only oldest one in this group right now. I'm
I'm
62.
58.
I'm
Yeah, you are.
62.
Yep, you win.
Okay, you
Well,
are.
I'm-
Yep,
You are.
you win.
I'm oh my. We were pounding out models on rocks back then. But, in-
Pep, you're old.
no, actually in 19. I'm gonna say 1973ish, somewhere 73, 74. My allowance was $3 a week. That was as long as I went out there and did whatever mom and dad wanted me to do. Made sure the grass was cut, whatever had to be done on the farm. Didn't get in trouble in school or anything like that. I got $3 a week. That was it. And we would go to Kmart on Saturdays, and we would get. Mama usually wanted to get flowers and stuff, plant around the yard. Anyhow, I'd go in there and I'd save my money up for like a whole week, $3. But I remember Revell. I can't remember any particular kit, but I remember at Kmart, I would buy a kit for about $2.50, and I would buy the little square, testers bottles.
Yep.
I
79
would get
cents.
I would get as many as I could for my $3, and then I'd be like, crap. And I'd go up to the register. Mom made me go up to the register, and she would, and they'd ring it up, and I'd be over my $3, and I'd just look up at her, and go, I need some more money. and she'd dig down in there and get another $1, and she said, this is going to go against next week. So I'm like, I'm just crap out of luck. Sorry, but it is what it is. But I remember about paying. I'd get that, some red tube glue, and a couple of bottles of paint, and for about $3.53, maybe $4. But yeah, that was. Oh man, yeah, boy, I just dated myself.
Yeah.
That's true.
That was back in the 40s.
Yeah, something like that.
I didn't catch what you said.
Gotta whittle your.
Like I
model
said,
kits
we
and
were
stuff.
pounding them out, and
Well,
with
the
rocks.
craziest thing about that story is that glue is probably still not dry.
It probably ain't. Hey, and that tester's paint's probably still wet. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm open. That's further down the line here. Y'all just
And it
hold on.
smells like
Anyhow.
disappointment.
All right, number 4. Do y'all do you use flocking or embossing powder on flooring or none? Matt?
I have never used the embossing powder. I've been wanting to try it out, but I use flocking. I haven't done it a lot. It's like if I really got a interior that you can really see in there and stuff, I've done a few miles flocking, but I never really got the results that most people get with it. So I kind of like don't do it. Or I just build a lot of race cars. They don't have carpet. So.
They ain't got carpet in them, do they? Chuck.
I use both. Mainly flocking though. I've used both though.
Yeah. Ken's fuzzy fur.
Yep.
Yep. Jason.
I use the stuff from Jameston at Scale Finishes. He's got a bunch of different stuff too. So I use a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. Hobby Lobby is selling flocking I've got some, but I can't reach it.
Really?
But you get it in different colors. But I've got about 3 or 4 cans of it. But it's a lifetime supply. So if y'all need any flocking, let me know.
Wow.
How about you, Jason?
So admittedly, I've never used either because I'm a little gun shy. Every time I see a model in person that's been flocked, it hasn't looked right to me. And I'm afraid I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm gonna. I don't know if I can do it and make it look good.
You're not supposed to put it on the hood.
No, or the roof. That's
well. So it always looks a little thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I usually just paint my floors with a flat colored paint. I mean, how much of it can you really see, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, who's gonna look in there? I mean, but
yeah. Well,
I'll tell y'all a little story when it comes my turn here about flocking and photo etch.
Yeah, I am going to try flocking though. I am building myself up to it. I do want to try it.
I tell you what, this coming Sunday we'll have a tutorial class on our little. Anyhow, I'm just kidding. How about you, Beach?
Well, I'm sorry I start every segment with but I have used both, and I found I liked the embossing powder better because it doesn't have the same static electric issues that the flocking does.
Flocking has, you're right.
And little top tip to anybody out there who's starting off with flocking: make sure you switch off the fan in your room.
The overhead,
because then you block. No, the one I have over here on the side.
Oh, it comes back in your face. I got you.
No, you'll just end up flocking everything downwind of that on your bench. I know a guy that did that. So
you know a guy that knows a guy? Wouldn't me. I
know a guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found myself liking the embossing powder a little bit better, except for the fact that the colors are a little more limited. So
yeah, that's true. With that being said, I told you I'd tell y'all a little story, but I like the Ken's fuzzy fur. I have just almost every color that Ken's fuzzy fur has. I did find flocking at there was one color of Ken's fuzzy fur that I was lacking. I didn't have, but I was able to find it at Hobby Lobby. They got this great big bottle of it now, and I've been trying it, but I haven't tried embossing powder. So I want to try embossing powder. But our good friend Old Tom Rambler 69, we were talking at JaxCon this weekend, and we got talking about the same subject. And he said, I said, well, what's a little bit, give me a tip on that. He said, put get your floor pan out, put your adhesive down. He said, I use white glue, just regular old Elmer's glue. Paint that on there. And he said, somebody told him, he said, take that whole jar of embossing powder, dump the whole thing out on it. I guess embossing powder is a lot, a big jar. He said, dump that whole pan out on it in a paper tray or, a throwaway tray. Let it sit overnight. He said the weight of that embossing powder pushes that down into the adhesive or the glue. And then when you get the next morning, once it's dry, take it, dump it out, tap it a couple of times. And I was honored for him to give me my Fred Henry appreciation bill this weekend. And he said, look down in there. He said, that's how I did that. And that it is just slick. And he said, Two, you can take, once you get the powder off, if you wanted to change the color, say if it was a black and you wanted to, maybe do a shade darker, maybe gray or blue or something like that, you can airbrush over that. You still get that texture right there.
Oh, really?
No kidding.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, but
Because I was
that's a
thinking,
free-
so since it's white glue,
So-
you could just peel it back off again if you needed to.
you probably could.
You
Yes.
He'll do that.
Real
But-
quick, you said you could get that stuff at Hobby Lobby.
Yes.
I hardly ever go into Hobby Lobby. So, what department are you finding that in? Is it in the modeling department or is
the
it somewhere
flocking,
else?
the
Yeah.
flocking.
It's in the book. The what do you call that? The scrapbooking.
Yeah, the
Scrapbooking.
scrapbooking. Yeah,
Yeah.
scrapbooking. Yeah, thanks,
okay.
Chuck. I had a brain fart right there on that one. Let me tell y'all a little funny this weekend. This kind of jumps back on the photo etch stuff, but we're still on the interior part. This weekend at JaxCon, y'all, if y'all have watched when I built that Bronco, and I had the Bronco down there, big jacked up Bronco. Well, when I was building that thing, I didn't have no seat belts that said Ford. I didn't have no Ford seat belts. So what I do? I just took my GM seat belts. It says GM on the the little push button, and I put them in there on a Ford Bronco. Well, when it came down to the end of the show, walked over there, I got a silver medal for it. I was
Nice.
like, okay. So I looked at the sheet, and on the sheet, this is an IPMS show. They wrote down there, said, did not sand seam lines on tires, which those are the big, the big TSL mudders. Didn't sand the seam line. Okay. Way to go, dummy. Then down there at the bottom, it said real nice. It said nice paint, beautiful paint. Thank you. And then it said GM seat belts. Ha ha, funny. I'm like, oh my God, you bunch
Yeah,
of
but you used a GM frame.
So don't tell me that they don't look. They do. They do
That's
look.
awesome.
But that was funny. Okay, number 5. This is a while back. I did I asked for some questions from our YouTube content creators out there for episodes like this moving forward. And this one comes from, and I'm sure he's a good subscriber to all of our channels as I am to his, Mr. Jeff Lawless, also known as the Bearded Guy.
Yes.
His question is, who is your favorite kit manufacturer?
Oh boy.
And you can only pick one. Matt?
Tamiya.
Chuck?
Revell. There's a reason because the genre is the genre I'm into, and it's the best fitting kit in that genre.
Got you. Jason?
Recently switched to Tamiya.
Beige?
NPC. No, I'm just kidding. Tamiya.
Like, what?
Yeah. Hey, you build a Tamiya kit, it goes together. You build an NPC kit, there is drama, and that makes the build fun.
I'm going to kind of do this. I'm going to kind of how me and Matt do our shows when we do our show. We are fixing to we're going to bring that back some this year.
Anytime.
And as far as bench racing, but I'd always take an empty box, throw a bunch of crap in it, and shake it, and I'd be like, "Here it is," even though it was an MPC box. So, but I'm with Chuck. I'm with Revell because it's the genre, old muscle cars and stuff. The detail and the looks of it is on point for all that. So I'm gonna stick with Revell for mine. Let's see, number 6. This comes from our, I think we all know this little fella. And when I say little fella, y'all know who I'm fixing to talk about. This comes from our good buddy, Mr. Mike Janis, also known as the Scale Model Outlaw. Why's everybody laughing? I'm sorry, he's short. Y'all have seen him down there with us this weekend. My gosh, he was up there going, how's the weather up there, Pappy?
I call him the scale model in-law.
Oh gosh,
Scale
we had a
model
great time. We had a great time. He was on our 10 questions from the JaxCon show. So
I love this hat. I did.
oh, I did, yeah. Let's see. What's your Mike asks, what is your favorite part of a build? Matt,
The chassis and suspension.
Chuck,
I'm tossed. I would have to say the body paint,
Jason,
painting the body.
Final assembly.
ready to get that thing off your bitch. I understand. How about you, Brian?
I love the part where you're planning out stuff at the very beginning and you're digging through the parts box for wheels and engines and just ideas are flowing, and then you get down to the very nitty gritty and you build it box stock. But but no, I love the planning stage. That's my
Planning
favorite
stage.
part. Yeah.
Interior for me. I love doing interiors, and I mean everybody. I mean, guys, y'all have seen my builds. I do. I love doing the interiors, two-toning the interior. Gosh, I love doing that.
So we got an interior guy, a chassis guy, a paint guy, and a final assembly guy. We need to
we need to get
do something.
we need to do a collaboration.
Buddy Bill.
Yeah.
Mine's
That's
a
a true buddy
toss
Bill.
up between.
Hey, I got an idea. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go. I'm almost. Oh wait a minute. That's a different.
Right.
That's a different one. It's not even supposed to be showed yet. So
I mean, you guys got to admit, there's a special kind of like, it's almost euphoric when you it's ups and downs, right? So you start a build and you're excited about it, and then you get bummed out because something went wrong, but then you fixed it and you're back on high, and then you're bummed out again because something didn't come out the way you thought it was, but you push on, and then when it's finished and you're looking at it, you're like, heck yeah, that's exactly
that's
how
what
I wanted it to come out.
That's what I envision. Yep.
That's why I love final assembly.
And that's the drama I was talking about, because it's every stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow! All right, fellas. Number 7. This comes from our. We all know Mr. This fella right here, Mr. Terry Wilson. His question is, how do you display your build at a show? Matt?
I throw it at the table, and however it lands, it lands.
Yes,
I
it
usually
usually bounces off mine.
it depends. You always want to kind of get a good spot, but I just kind of try to stay nice and neat, especially if I have multiple ones going in the same spot, like in a parking space, where they're angled, like that. And if I have something that I'm trying to show off the suspension and everything, I get those from Scale Motorsports. I got a couple of those. They're about that high, and they're
the elevated platform. Yeah.
The elevated platform. They don't take a lot of real estate up, no more than the build actually does. So they're considerate. And usually, if I put a model on that, I'll put it more farther back so it's not blocking anybody's model that they got on the table. Because I'm a nice guy. I'm just a nice guy, but that's how I do it.
Nice. We're all nice till we get edged.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And Chuck, how about you? And Chuck, I might add, congratulations, sir. I seen y'all took home some hardware from the Arizona show.
Thank you.
You must have displayed it right because you brought home hardware.
Well, it depends what it looks like. Yeah, if it's bad, I put it under the table. If it's good, I put it on top.
Oh wow!
I usually put it on a turntable.
Turntable.
Yeah.
How about you, Jason?
So I always try to get there early. I try to put my stuff toward the back of the table. On nothing, just on the table. I do display the hood off of the model, but I put it on one of those clear plastic, like postcard holder type things. Shaped like a J.
I've got. I ain't got them laying around here. But I know what you're talking about.
It. Simple, clean and simple. Just on the table with the hood off of it on one of those.
There you go.
Those exactly.
Right. Yep. How about you, BJ? BJ.
BG. Good. No, I'm not the only one who does that.
Well, I'll elaborate on what Matt said. Sometimes I'm not the first one out there to put them because I'm usually screwing around talking or whatever. So I don't get to the table as fast as everybody else does. But when I'm setting up my stuff, I don't use display stands or anything because usually we have traveled from one side of this country to the other. So it's just extra weight.
Yeah.
And so what I do is I'll look at the grain of the table, how people are laying out their stuff, and I'll be like, okay, I'll set up with these guys here. So I'm not going to be the guy that cuts the triangle piece out of the center of the pumpkin pie, drive everybody crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll follow the grain of how things are being laid out, and then go about my business. But if I want to have a real special setup, like I'm thinking about doing on our Colorado show, I'll set up my car, and I think I might just take off my shirt and lay along the backside of the table just in case. That'll get some attention.
That is definitely going to get some attention.
That will get attention.
Me, myself, and I, it depends on the car. If I've done a lot of detail work up underneath, something like that, of course, I'm going to put it on a turntable. I've got 2 turntables I like to use a lot. If it's got a flaw that I know that I don't want anybody to see, that's going away from the crowd. And, but I invested. Oh my gosh, I am so investable. I bought some of these little little Hollywood lights, I call them.
Oh.
And I bought 4 of them, and I didn't carry them to Jacksonville with me because I didn't really think any of my paint was worthy of, those right there. But I bought them. I did display. I'm trying to remember what I used these for last year, but I've been displaying them like that. But I always try to grab the edge of not the edge of the table because you get them little, those little feelers up there that people, and then also, people be taking videos or taking camera shots. And I seen a guy drag one off a table with a sleeve one time. I'm like, I don't want to get it too close to that. But that's about how I like to do them.
You got to send me a link for the lights.
Yeah. But these lights I got the tall one. I think these are the 8-inch ones, and I got one. It's the little T90 one that kind of points up at it like that.
Oh, yeah.
But it gets more light up under your car, especially if you got a mirrored turntable or something like that.
Yeah, send me that link. I'd like to buy some of those.
Okay, I will, Chuck.
He'll have I
got to remember. Wait a minute. Where did I buy them?
I'll tell you a quick story.
I'll send you the link, Chuck. It's called Displays to Go, the number 2, then Displays number 2 to go. But I'll send you a link to it. These are great, and
cool.
they're nice. I like them. Okay,
I'll tell you a quick story, Fred. Up in Oregon, when I was helping judge a show, lady wanted to set her purse down so she could better look at something on the back row of the display table, and set her purse down on several 172nd helicopters.
Ooh,
crunch. Yeah.
Oh.
Bet she was a favorite.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I don't think
stuff like that makes me cringe.
I don't think.
I tell you what I seen at an IPMS show in Atlanta one time, and I mean, I'm all about the kids getting into the hobby. I love it, but when they come to a show, be respectful. But I seen a kid take a build off the table, and I mean, he was like, I was like, oh. And I mean, this guy's eyes got about this big around. Like anywho, but they said you got to corral this child. So number eight. This. Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh.
This. Oh yeah. You seen what I did with Papa Z at the last 10 questions. Yeah. This question comes from Little Brian Gugamos, also known as BG's Model Workshop.
I heard of him.
Y'all know him. Yeah,
Who's that?
Know him. Well, he's a
I
big
heard he's
kid.
an excellent modeler.
He's a big kid. I'm going to tell you that.
He's beat me a couple times.
Yeah,
with a stick.
Little Brian asked, and I did this with Papa Z this weekend. I also did it with Matthew at the Spartanburg show. But
I knew you were going to throw mine in there. I got little, I got little things up my sleeve. Little Brian asks. Little Brian. Little BG.
Oh God, I'll never. Little BG said, What's the knife that is it the little Luca?
Little Luca.
The little Luca. We got little BG now. Oh God. All right, number 8. Little BG asks, which I get tickled. This is why we're doing. This is why I don't edit nothing. I want everybody to see we have fun. Anyhow, Little BG asks in my best radio voice, which one of your builds would you want to have as a real 1-to-1 car or truck in your driveway?
All right,
Matt.
That's yep. The Days of Thunder City Chevrolet Lumina,
Ooh,
and I would make it street legal.
man. Chuck
I'm looking.
Chuck's sitting here shopping. He's like, which one of these little things I want?
Oh, crap.
No, that's not a model.
Hang on.
That's not a model.
Maybe a Henry J?
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
gosh. Great. That's an awesome pick.
Yeah.
About you,
Find the parts.
about you, Jason.
Okay, so this is a build that something we've built as a model.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
The
boy.
author of that question says,
Or, yeah, something you've built as a model. Yes.
Oh my gosh. It would have to be. Oh, I'm torn. I'm torn between my USAC build that I just finished and my green 69 Nova. That is my favorite build of all time.
That's
I would have to go with the Nova. I'd have to go with the Nova.
I've seen the Nova personally. So
Yeah.
That's like the
I know.
build you're
That's
known
great.
for, dude.
That's a great choice. That's a great choice.
Thank you.
Brian?
So I haven't built it yet. That sucks because I have the Tucker kit. But I don't know, maybe no, this one's not built yet either, so I can't say the Flintstone car. Well, I happen to have a Herbie model kit
There you
sitting
go.
Oh,
in
wow.
a finished display case. So I would that
V-Dub.
no
Man.
V-Dub.
You
Yeah.
couldn't
I
fit
could have
in it.
sworn he would have said a DeLorean.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
did
built
too.
yet.
I was thinking time machine.
It's a time machine, but that runs on plutonium, and we don't have any here in Arizona.
Yeah,
So,
we ain't got none of that.
yeah.
Mine, and I know Matt and I, we've shared, and he knows that I've had this car. I've had a 69, I've had a 69 Camaro RS SS 427 Pro Street car, which I built one just like that. So that one's kind of null and void for me because I built that one patterned after my original car, 1-to-1. But the one that I would really like to have sitting in my driveway would be the 55 Chevy Bel Air Gasser that I built with Tim Brown and I. Tim fed me the pictures and
Green
from
one.
the green one, the green and silver. I built that one in lieu of that car, and I would really. And this gentleman watches Tim. He watches my channel now because he and Tim are real good friends. He watches my channel now, so if that car is ever up for sale, hit me up. I'd love to have it in my driveway, or actually my garage. It wouldn't stay in my driveway; it'd be in my garage. That'd be a garage. That'd be a garage kept beast right there. But the 55 Bel Air, yep,
Nice.
Gasser. Anywho, thank you, little BG, for that question.
Yeah, thank you, little GB.
GB.
Yeah, you had a little BJ.
Whatever you say, Jansen.
Y'all can tell that we are all very good friends. So that's why this is why I wanted to have y'all on with this tonight. Number 9. All right. And this was a question from last weekend's. We're carrying this over to this episode right here. This comes from our good friend, YouTube content creator, old Papa Z, Mr. Rick Zink, Skeletal Remains.
Nick.
As model builders, what's wrong with us?
Oh, that,
Matt?
Let me get a list.
He pulled he pulled a list out last weekend. You can't pull a list. It's gotta, what's wrong with us?
What's wrong with us?
Yeah.
Why do we love these little things called model cars?
Yeah.
Because they're fun.
There you go. Chuck.
I'd say, I mean, to be honest, I'd say all of us have a little bit of an addictive personality.
Yep.
And this hobby is more of an addiction too at the same time as a hobby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because when we do things, we do it overboard, whether it's a small car or a real car.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. Perfect.
So maybe that's
Yeah,
probably
totally.
what's wrong with us.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jason, what's wrong with you?
Terribly wrong with us.
What's wrong with me is I'm too passionate. I just can't walk away from it. I just
Okay.
can't.
No,
can't
I mean,
quit it.
I can relate
Can't
to that
quit.
too.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's like I'm kind of in agreement with Chuck, but I don't want to agree with Chuck because that just doesn't happen. So
Never
I have
ever.
a question. I have a question. If you can't quit something, does that mean you're still a quitter? I mean, I guess it's philosophically speaking, but you know, it's
yeah,
like
right. Yeah, helicopterally
Okay.
speaking, I am too passionate.
oh god,
Brian, what's wrong with you?
I'm too freaking tall to fit any vehicles I like, so I got to build the damn models.
Oh God. Oh man. Me
Royalty.
myself, what's wrong with me?
What's wrong with you, Shrek?
I'm passionate about the hobby, but you know, it's just I feel like I'm a well person being looked at by 60 individuals. So 6.5 one dozen the other.
Yeah.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh,
6.5
God.
and 1 dozen of the other. Yeah,
Yeah, 1 dozen of the other.
1
but-
dozen.
Yep. One dozen. Well, that's $1 million. All right, final question, fellas.
Rollers.
Final question. Oh my God. Number 10. All right. Each one of us, all 5 of us right here, each of us has a well-established YouTube channel. What positive outcome do you want from it? Matt,
Wow.
What positive outcome?
would you
What
like
was
to what positive outcome would you want from your channel?
Inspirating others,
Others?
inspiring other builders.
Wow.
The greatest thing I get is when I get a comment or someone on the Facebooks like to say to me, man, I watch your channel, it inspires me, or it got me back into modeling and just inspires me to do that, or just that right there makes it completely worth why I even started doing this stuff.
And putting
And,
up with what we put up with.
That's pretty much it. And the
Yeah.
cool friends.
There
I
you
wouldn't
go.
be friends with you guys if it wasn't for
Yep.
the channel.
That's true. Chuck, how about you?
I gotta rethink my life.
I want to be a millionaire.
That'll never happen, brother. I'm telling you.
You don't want to be a billionaire. That's why you get a YouTube.
Yeah.
You don't-
Chuck, I could go out here and sell every 67 Chevelle AMT Pro Street kit I got. I'm still gonna be a poor ass broke.
I know
think
because
it's- I think it's more about influencing others and the younger generation coming into the hobby. I want to see it grow to the next generation. Also, my friends. This is where all my friends are. I mean, it's a fact that I'm able to communicate with people in other countries. It has to be that, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. How about you, Jay?
we tell Chuck that we're friends. We tell
Yes.
him that.
So
Thanks for the lies.
Checks in the mail.
So I do have. I've made some very great friends through this hobby, but I also have some normal friends too. So I can't say that's the best part of my channel.
Normal
But I
friends.
gotta say, I'm gonna piggyback with Matt a little bit and say that inspiring people. It's amazing when I have somebody comment on a video that I'm the reason they got back into the hobby.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
It's just amazing. So inspiring people to not only do better, but to get back into it. That's my answer.
I'm sitting here looking at Facebook the other day. It was on the Lucas C Facebook group, and
I'm sorry.
it showed someone's bench. I can't remember who it was. We're all subscribed to, or he's in the Lucas C Facebook group a lot. Anyhow, I can't remember who it was. Anyhow, it showed his bench. He just had bought a new home, had his bench set up, and he's got his computer screen up. And guess who's sitting there on the screen?
Who?
The one
Me.
I'm pointing
Me.
at.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
Brian. The one over by Brian.
I can't remember his name either. and I feel-
Freaking Jason. I'm sitting there going, why the hell couldn't that be mine? No, I'm just kidding. No, but I mean, it is. I mean, to see somebody, like that. But that, you're right. You're right, Jason.
Yes.
You're right.
Exactly. Inspiring
Brian?
others. don't know what
Brian, how
Matt's
about you?
doing with others, but
Exactly. Brian, what's your excuse there,
Well,
sir?
to clarify Chuck's answer a little more, he's doing it to help support his addiction, apparently, because the hobby addiction. But for me, I mean, I started the channel so I could meet people like you, Fred, and befriend some other folks out there and stuff. So, I mean, that's all come true, and it's been really awesome. But what I would want from my channel is what I've been getting from my channel, and that is mildly entertaining folks for 8 to 15 minutes at a time here and there. A couple of years ago, we were in California. It was one of the very first shows that was coming back from COVID. And we were at a place called Brookhurst Hobbies. I was hanging out with Mad Genius and Ben from Ben Builds.
Left Coast Joe.
Yep. And guy walks up to me. I hadn't met him before. Walks up to me. He says, "Hey, you're Mr. BG, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, indeed I am." And he goes, "I just want to tell you that you helped me through COVID." He's like, "There's only so much lawn work, yard work you can do in a day, right?" But he's like, "You helped me through COVID, and that means the world to me." And dude, I almost freaking cried right there because I didn't know I was having that kind of impact with people. And at that particular point, I was like, I think I might just like kind of hang up my pistols and walk away from YouTube and whatever. And then that happened, and I'm like, oh no. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep going, and it's been a hell of a ride ever since. I really can't complain because, I mean, we all say it. I didn't expect it to go like this, but I'm loving every minute of it.
Yeah.
I have a little story I'd like to share real quick.
Shoot.
You want to talk about tear jerking story? I gotta share this. So I was approached at NNL East this past year by a gentleman who he came up to me, introduced himself. "Hi, hey, my name is," I'm not going to say it, but I watch your videos. I want to tell you a little story. I said, "Okay." He says, "My handicapped son and I used to love to watch your videos. And then he passed away. And watching your videos has helped me get through the loss of my son." And I am not gonna lie, there were tears
I can bet.
shed on the spot.
Rightfully so.
Right there. Okay, so if I never accomplish anything else ever again with this channel,
Which you won't.
I've that right there is enough. Which I won't. Thanks. It's because I'm following your lead, Chuck.
Look who he hangs out with.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
That's awesome.
I mean, how much does it get? Much more satisfying than that.
Jason,
Can't
do this. Take this hand. Do it like I'm doing. Now do this. That's me patting you on your back. Good job.
Harder, Jason. Harder.
That's awesome.
Chuck, take
that's
this
an
hand
awesome.
and put it like this.
Yeah, that's an awesome. Well, at least we weren't doing this, but anyhow,
Right, yeah.
I need to quit.
No.
Golly, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Hey man, it's your channel. You do whatever you want.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, this is going on my channel, but I'm gonna put it on the Lucas C channel. I mean the Lucas C Facebook group. But,
heck yeah, you better.
I will.
Nice.
I also got to put the JacksCon one up too. I've just been busy as a one-arm paper hanger this week, but since getting back. But what I want out of my channel, number one is I get to hang out with you fine guys, and I tell you, just having like-minded friends like y'all. When I came into YouTube, I was just like, I'm only going to have 3 subscribers. It's going to be Vicky, my brother, and possibly, somebody. But it has exploded beyond my imagination. Getting to meet guys like y'all, getting to hang out at shows. I've got to hang out with 4 of y'all at shows, and y'all know how I act. I act like a little kid. Chuck, I hope we get to cross paths sometime too.
I think this year, probably.
You're coming
I
at
couldn't
me?
shake him. He was
so,
like,
yeah.
every time I turn around, there was Fred. He was following me everywhere.
Well, we were having to, was having to lead
Because
you
he was
around.
security,
He
dude.
was
That's 'cause
lost. He was lost. He was lost. Hell, he had Matthew Inman security at Hartsfield, Atlanta. My gosh.
Yeah.
Then we got him for the rest of the weekend, but no, the biggest anything that I would like to have as far as the outcome of my channel is, passing on the love and the inspiration that this hobby has brought, as far as that it's brought to me over the years, over my 62 years. Well, I ain't been doing it for 62 years, but
Yeah, it's like YouTube hasn't been there on that long.
yeah, I was fixing to say, boy, that red tube glue up in the womb was terrible, boy, I tell you. But because these younger, the younger generation, and y'all know I'm an Acme member, Atlanta Car Model Enthusiast member, and that's one of our things this year. We do a lot with the youths here in the northern Georgia area. We do a lot of make and takes at our show, but we also go to the Savoy Auto Museum, which is just right up the street from our location where we have our Southern National show at each year in October. We've been going up there at least 4 times a year to the Savoy Auto Museum and doing making takes up there when they host a 1-to-1 scale show. And we gave out, I talked with Wayne a couple of weeks ago. I think we handed out over the year of 2024 over 500 kits for making takes. So, making, hoping the kids that come to the shows and their parents, they'd be like, well, let's go watch this old guy named Pappy at West Georgia Rides and Customs. And then it explodes and they see who all I'm subscribed to, like the Brian. I know I met Brian through YouTube. Jason, met him through YouTube. I met Matt through YouTube. Chuck, I met Chuck through all of you guys. So, that's really the inspiration that I hope that comes the good part that comes out of my channel as far as that. But why, like I say, I don't know why nobody watches this whole country hick build plastic cars and stuff like that. But as my good buddy that's sitting right down below me, when he got me to, gluing my fingers together, and what was this, sawing styrene or something like that, Matt?
Cutting that plastic crap.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, we're getting on up into the 1 hour. I hope everybody, I do appreciate each one of y'all. I'm gonna, excuse me. I'm going to leave a link down below for anyone that is not subscribed to any of our channels. That way y'all can reach out and get subscribed to each one of these awesome model builders and content creators here in YouTube. And I appreciate y'all taking a time hanging out with me on a Friday evening doing this. But it's what we always do. We have a great time, whether we're at shows, whether we're doing content creating here for YouTube, and just what you see is what you get, folks. But
Yep, that was
Brian, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Jason, as always, glad to have you on here. Matt, love you like a brother, man. Chuck,
Anytime.
I'm sorry you have to hang out with these 4 guys.
I know.
I don't know. But
Boy,
anyhow, Chuck, really do appreciate you. Again, congratulations on your hardware at Arizona again. That's awesome. From what I've heard, that's an awesome show. I've been invited out by two of these fine gentlemen right here. So I don't know whenever I work for an airline company. You think I could fly out there and then fly
really?
back
Come
home?
on, man.
yeah. You make packing crates. You could just make one with some pillows inside, some
You really
Gatorades.
come out here for
Look,
the
dude, I'm around them things all day long. I sure as hell don't want to get on one.
right?
Oh my! Well, everybody, I appreciate everybody in here on the panel tonight, and I appreciate all of my subscribers. And if y'all aren't, again, like I said, if y'all ain't subscribed to any of these fellas, give them a subscribe. Tell them Pappy sent you. And as I always say on the end of my videos, Brian, let you close it out.
It's going to shine like a diamond in the. Oh,
No, wrong one. Felix, program manager, no check for him.
Oh man.
Okay. If you can dream it, build it.
God bless y'all. Pappy out of here.
See you guys.